Let's talk silver, we'll talk gold and platinum, we'll talk about crypto, the particular crypto that I'm eyeing off at the moment. One in particular I find very interesting. Look, we'll do all the usual stuff that we do here. If you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers. With me, Joe Main, going up live on X and on YouTube right now. Aren't you lucky? Yes, you are. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Hit me up with a follow on x.com/It's Joe Main. You might be watching live there. You might be watching live on YouTube, but wherever you're watching live, you get to enjoy the synchronized slurp. Grab a tasty beverage. I grab my tasty beverage. We slurp them synchronously together. It's the slurp heard around the world. Are you ready? Tell me what you're drinking in the comments. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Good to see just a couple of you at the moment. I think I was, again, a little bit late with my notifications. I am Joe Main, a stacker of precious metals. Yeah, since 2010, stacker of silver and other stuff, a stacker of crypto since 2013. And yeah, I've been around, people. Now, I do this live show. I go live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays where I talk precious metals. We look at the charts and all that kind of stuff. And I do many other things, including helping your business launch and grow on YouTube and other social media as well. Remember, I've done that for a long time with many different businesses, particularly in the bullion industry. As you know, I worked for 3 major gold and silver bullion dealers here in Australia. I helped launch and grow multiple YouTube channels in that industry, and I help for every other kind of business as well. So hit me up, follow me, find me, and I'll help your business, and we'll make sweet, sweet business love together. Yeah, why not? Tony Peterson, let's do some quick shout outs. Give me 1 second though. I will ask you, please and thank you, head over to x.com/It's Joe Main just before we get to the shout outs, because I just need to do this little chestnut that I do every single time. Why? Because I want to get trendy over there as well. Can you do that for me? That'd be lovely. Thanks very much. Let's go back to here and get some shout outs out the way. Good morning. Morning, Joe, says Jason Ashworth. Morning, Jason. It's good to see you. Morning, Stackers, he says as well. Posh Sloth, hey there, y'all. At the gas pump. You're at the gas pump? You're literally at the gas pump while watching my live show. Well, that is fantastic. Now, you said gas pump, so you're coming from not in Australia. What's the price of gas over there at the moment? Let me know. Tony Peterson, good to see our chat mum Tony Peterson on the channel. Fantastic. Good morning, chat fam. John P says, vodka orange juice. Let's just say my immune system is very strong. Okay, that's fine. Business. I see Matthew Gunn. Good morning, Joe. All good here in the Tweed Coast. Good to see you, Matthew. All right. Let's do some stuff. Did you know, of course, that the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Hit my link somewhere and you'll get a really good deal on brokerage fees for buying crypto. Don't do it yourself. Why would you do that? Anyway, you'll hear a bit more of those people. If you can tell, I'm not having a great week. I'm having probably one of the shittiest weeks in my entire life. Everything's going wrong this week except for you guys. So my energy's a little bit more down, but I'll try and keep it up for you wonderful people. Let's do... what am I going to do here? I'm going to go straight to the stuff. Yeah. Let's do some precious metals price analysis. How's the price of silver? Hey, let's take a look at silver and gold and platinum and copper and everything else that we do. Once again, hit me up with hit me up with a follow at good old, what's the word I was looking for? At x.com/It's Joe Main. I will be talking Bitcoin, crypto, Toshi, and a particular crypto that I'm eyeing off at the moment. But first, we've got to talk about our amazing precious metals. Here is silver on the 4-hour time frame price in USD, $38.05 using the tradingview.com website. Not a lot to share, except we have still potentially at this stage invalidated this larger, deeper correction. and I kind of mentioned it on the video from yesterday. Not a lot has changed really, so it's going to be a pretty quick one. I've also will do my what I learned this week section of the show, because as you know, I'm doing the Mastering the Markets 12-month comprehensive course to be a full-on trader. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. It was playing out. It might be slightly invalidated since we broke back start that again. Since we broke back above, that's the word I'm looking, broke back mountain. Since we broke back above the $38.50 mark right there, it was looking, maybe this is invalidated, okay? Don't know yet. I would just say while we're above that $37.50 area, okay, it's looking good. If we start closing back below $37.50, I say, oh, okay, maybe this was just a little blip and then we head back down, okay? But for the moment, while we're above $37.50, it looks like the general direction will be in upward. So it's looking invalidated at this stage. That'll change if it gets back below that $37.50. And of course, do I need to show anyone this? Not really, but just for S&Gs, here is silver on the monthly time frame. Need I say more? Not really. This is not a thing. The following is not a thing, unless it is, and it's a black swan event that no one can see coming, and you have to be prepared for all of that. This, after this, right, you do that, and do that, that's not a thing. That doesn't happen, okay? What happens is, and I'll put that on, I won't draw it this time, you can just trace it. That is not a thing. This, and maybe kind of fumbling around here, faffing around for a little bit, that is a thing, okay? That's where it's going. We all know where it's going. Do these short-term price movements mean much? No, but for those people who are looking to load up at lower prices and all that kind of stuff, you really want to stay updated with the general weather report for the precious metals. So that's where it's sitting for me for silver at the moment. Bullish, medium term bullish, longer term, ultra bullish. Medium term bullish, we're going to head up to $50. Short term bullish for the moment. I'll be short term bearish if we cross below that $37.50 area. Get it? Got it. Good. Silver miners still holding up quite well in relation to the silver spot price. Cool. We are butting up against this trend line, and this trend line, this uptrend line right here, has flipped from resistance into support, and it's holding it. And on the weekly time frame, we are looking still quite good. I mean, onwards and upwards we go. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any reason to think we are not going to continue onwards and upwards for silver mining stocks. Okay, we're now in the belly of the zag zone. Okay, so from, where are we? Where's the high? Why is the high there on the monthly? Let me show you on the weekly. Why is it there? And why is it not there? What the blazes? What? Give me a second. On the daily time frame, what are we looking at here? On the daily, yeah, that's where the 1 should be. So why is that all the way up there? Oh, because I am inflation adjusted. Hang on a second. Oh, that's why it was because of dividend adjusted. Don't know why. Okay, anyway, from this high and this low, we're in the expected resistance range. The zag zone looks like I think we're going to pretty much shoot through it. Okay, for silver miners, we are up at this 0.5 level, so trapped money right here, psychological value of that sort of 55 where we are right now. Let's see, it's looking pretty good over the longer term. I think we will break through there. In the next few months, we're going to do really, really well, I think. For silver miners, I'll just leave it at that for now. Silver junior miners, let's take a quick little look-see. I'm in silver junior miners as well. That is yet to break out, but we're in breakout territory. Okay, so right at the very edge right here, we want to see that breakout and hold, and then we're looking really good. I'm just looking very, I'm very bullish on silver junior miners as well. Where silver goes, silver miners will follow. Sometimes they outperform them massively, so I have a large portion of my portfolio in silver mining stocks at the moment, and I'm playing that silver miners to spot ratio as well. So if you go sil to silver, wow, okay, sil to silver, this is showing you that silver miners very much outperforming the silver spot price. Again, as stackers, just hold your physical and you'll be just fine over the longer term. But I have a little bit of a larger appetite for risk. So I'm happy to take that little play, and I'm playing it up to this first area here of 1.7, then I'll be playing it up to that 2.4 area on that ratio of silver miners to silver. Anyway, that's all that silver stuff. We'll be doing Bitcoin, crypto and stuff. We're doing the precious metal stuff. To start with, I'll show you gold on the monthly. Sure, here is gold on the monthly time frame, priced in USD, 3,332. Okay, I've been saying it for about, there's so many spikes here on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we haven't finished this month, okay, but we really need to close a month up in where it's spiked to. Okay, does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4 big spikes. I don't like that. It tells me that sellers are in control of the market. It gets up to here and sellers go, yeah, no, I'm going to continue to take profits around about that all-time high 3,500-ish kind of area. I don't like that, okay? Not good. What I would like to see is this start closing a month at around about your 3,435, because then that says, buyers are more so in control of the market and they're expecting higher prices to come. But while we get these 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly fifth spike, me no likey that, okay? Doesn't mean it's bad news for gold over the longer term. No, we're doing really well over the longer term. Years to come, by the end of this decade, you'll be very, very happy with your precious metals holdings, okay, from where they are now in terms of their prices. But, markets go up and markets go down. On the weekly time frame, yeah, we're still in that trading range, so don't stress. Could bounce off here, as I said yesterday in that previous video. I'm expecting something like this to happen, okay, or like that to happen. I'm not expecting that to happen, okay, but you've got to watch out for it, okay. That's all you really need to say for gold, is that, yeah, it's in a trading range, and it will not, I said it will be making its decision soon. It never gets to the absolute apex right here. It never gets to the corner, because that would just be really like choppy price. Like you don't get to there. So I'm going to say, I think I said by the end of this month, it'll probably have made its decision. Maybe I'll give it within the first week of September, but it's not going to like the end of September. It will make its decision in the next probably 3 weeks, roughly, okay, whether it's going to break out and then make a new all-time high, or break down and then we'll talk about lower prices. Cool. My bias is to the upside over the longer term. Good, that is gold. GDX, which is gold miners, still looking very good versus gold. Cool, this is it on the weekly time frame. I'll show you on the monthly. This is the ASX version. I'll show you the American version. So this is on the New York Stock Exchange. Look at it. It's going to make a new all-time high really, really soon. It's rocketing through. It's gotten through from this high and this low. It's through the zag zone. It's through previous resistance right there. Yes, market goes up and down, over the next days or weeks. You might find it might be a bit choppy, but over the longer term, I just think we're going to break that all-time high. So looking really good for the GDX gold miners in general. It's making successive higher highs and higher lows. The trend is your friend. Expect to dip sometime soon. I don't know where, but look, if it makes another higher low, fantastic. Then onwards and upwards we go. I just think we're going to make a little play, probably for the all-time high in GDX, before we have a further dip down. And so, for example, you could see something like the following, where people start talking new all-time high, and then it does something like that, and then it makes its new all-time high. And that's just, look, beautiful. Higher highs, higher lows, and, off you go. So it's very positive for gold mining stocks. Cool. And buy the GDX if you don't want to take your gamble on individual mining stocks. It's probably the best way to do it. Get into an index fund. Cool. And GDX on the Australian Stock Exchange, well, that's just in brand new all-time highs. congratulations to everyone. 90 Australian dollars for the GDX. It's the exact same version as that, except it's on the Australian Stock Exchange. New all-time highs. Watch out for that $115 mark. It's that uptrend line, and it also happens to be at the 2.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low. So watch around about there at $115 for a potential bit of a sell-off after there. That's my humble opinion, because we've also gone into extremely overvalued on the monthly time frame up here, so it's got to have a bit of a rest. 115, watch it. Cool. In Australian dollars, that is gold. Let's take a look at platinum. Platinum on the monthly time frame price in USD, we are talking $1,330. That's it on the monthly. As you know, very bullish on it over the longer term. It will break the all-time high eventually. If you're asking me for a time frame, can't tell you. How would I know? Markets go up and down. I can't predict them within any kind of major certainty, but I do know that we will get a new all-time high. Just don't know exactly when, but it's looking great. Made higher highs on the monthly time frame. Let's take a look on the weekly. Now, weekly is, as I've been saying, after we broke up to that 1,480 level, we have gone into extremely overvalued on the relative strength index, which can indicate a period of consolidation. Okay, on the daily, we've been talking about this level right here. So if you got into platinum, around this kind of area, you're doing really well. Okay, from this low and this high, we're out of the best buy zone. Doesn't mean we can't go back into it. Okay, so you just got to watch out for something like this, as I said before. Watch out for something back into there, and I don't want 1200 to be broken. 1210, then we'll talk about lower prices. But on the weekly time frame, you can see there might be some kind of dead cat bounce playing here. So a dead cat bounce is where you have a move up, then it has a move down, then it has another move up, and everyone goes, there's the dip right there, and then it does something like this, and then heads back down. Okay, that's your dead cat bounce. It says it's a morbid term, but it's if you drop a dead cat from high enough, it'll bounce, which is the thing. So weird and morbid. Anyway, so watch out for the dead cat bounce there, and yeah, you don't want that 1200 broken preferably. Cool. But on balance of probability, if I have a look at platinum versus gold and platinum versus silver, that might tell me whether I think platinum will continue to go up or down over the next couple of weeks at least. So if I take a look at platinum to gold ratio on the weekly time frame, I'm going to suggest that I think we can head down a bit further. So I'm going to say platinum is going to head down further. I think silver's looking good. Gold, I'm on the fence with. Platinum, I think we'll see some lower prices. Could be wrong on this, but I think it will underperform gold and silver for a little bit longer. Probably needs to come back and test here. So this is as this is going up, platinum's outperforming gold. As it's going down, gold's outperforming platinum. So we've had that massive move. Okay, we've had that move there. I think maybe back down to test the top end here, and then hopefully onwards and upwards. But I'm expecting, platinum maybe the fiat dollar price, bit more of a dip in the next few weeks. Okay, and I'll say the same against silver as well. Cool. So that's general platinum. Let's go to copper. Nope, not that one. Copper, not a lot to say. Copper's still in its range. I did this video yesterday. Hasn't really moved. It's at $4.50. It's been faffing around $4.50 roughly since the start of the month. So it's been a couple of weeks, and it's just nearly 3 weeks and doing pretty much nothing. Okay. But if you take a look at the COPX, which I am in, the COPX is doing quite well. Here is the COPX. It's down 1% from yesterday, but it had been doing well. The Copper Miners Index, cool, looking quite good. I just need to see it break through that $49 area, and then we'll talk Turkey. But over the longer term, bullish on the Copper Mining Index. That's the COPX, COPX on the New York Stock Exchange. On the daily, we're seeing a little bit of a dip, but that's okay. We've been making successive higher highs and higher lows. We just need to hold that as support, and then I think we're looking really good. Once we break out of Yeah, that area right there, that $49 area, looking quite good. Nothing's telling me it's moving down at this stage. The only thing I would suggest is watch out for potential bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Okay, so we've got a bit of a rising price there, and we've got a lowering on the relative strength index. So just watch out for that. If you're in it, watch out for that. So 1, 2, little break, but that's a liquidity grab, and then that could be spelling some further price movement down. You would not want to see it break below 42 roughly. So yeah, but so far so good for the COPX. Just watch out for that. That is copper and precious metals and everything else. There's one thing I'll quickly show you, which is, and we'll get to Bitcoin and crypto and the rest of it today at Good Morning Stackers. Once again, here is rhodium. We talked about it last week. It's still holding above 695. So rhodium still looking okay at this stage. It's a very slow mover. Okay, this is the XRH0 tracker of physical rhodium at about 1/10 of the spot price of rhodium. It's so far holding above. Okay, good. I said break and hold 695 is an excellent sign. I would like it to hold on the monthly time frame. So if it can close this month, a nice green candle above 695, that would be looking good. And I'd be happy to say over the longer term, we'd be heading onwards and upwards to probably about that $1,200 mark, bare minimum. That's the expected resistance zone within there. So yeah, you'd be looking for that'd be a decent little rise. The only way to get into rhodium really is to buy platinum group metal miners like SBSW or Zimplats on ASX, but also this one here, the XRH0, listed on the London Stock Exchange. But rhodium, watch out for it. Could be the silent creeper. Cool. That is all the precious metals stuff that I want to talk about. I'll get to some shout outs, etc. But when you want to buy precious metals in Australia, you want to buy from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, best bullion dealer in all of Australia. Why? Cheapest prices. Because they price match all the other big boy competitors. Okay, I've worked for 3 of the major gold and silver bullion dealers here in Australia, 3 of the big ones, and you know the ones I'm talking about. And Perth Bullion Exchange is kicking their butts, in my humble opinion. Why? Well, because you get free shipping. That's it. You get. Is there any other reason? What other bullion dealer in Australia is offering free shipping when you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart? There's one other company, a very small bullion dealer, that started copying Perth Bullion Exchange recently. Now, I know the guy that works at this place. He's a lovely guy and all that. I won't name the company. So, lovely guy. I'm not poo-pooing the company. But Perth Bullion Exchange, well, they have a larger range. They have better prices. They also price match with every other competitor as well. Plus, they were the first one to give free shipping, 20 or more items in your shopping cart, you get free shipping, Australia-wide. Express delivery, by the way. It's not snail mail, it's express delivery. It's sign-on delivery, it's fully insured. Everything you love, except you don't pay for it. When you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart, perthbullion.com.au. Let's do some quick shout-outs and we'll get to crypto. We'll talk Toshi. We'll talk about, there's one specific crypto I'm really hawking very closely at the moment. Great to see so many people watching on the channel. Do me a favor and head over to x.com/it's Joe Main, will you? That would be lovely if you could help me out. Let's see. We'll go here. $2.58 was your per gallon. $2.58 per gallon. You guys are doing what? You don't live in California, posh sloth. I'll say that much. You don't live in California, because gas per gallon in California ain't $2.58. It's way higher than that. Richard Pin, GMS, good to see you, my friend. Hope your week gets better, Joe. Yeah, me too. It's been really terrible. That's all I can say. But I've got a smile on my face. Please like and subscribe. I shall do. John P says, I love the 15-year chart. Wow. Oh, yeah, love the 15, the one that's showing. Yes, it's one hell of a cup and handle. The world's largest cup and handle, 45-year cup and handle in silver. We know where it's playing out. Sir Alfred, Sir Alford, greetings, friends. Great to see you again, my friend. The TA checks out. I like getting other people's analysis. Yes, exactly right. Neil, good to see you, my friend. Gerald, love to see you as well. Van, g'day, Vanessa. Good to see you. No, sir, I'm buying gas and Trump in Trump territory. Yeah, exactly. That's why gas is cheaper. Not in California. Yeah. $4.50. Look at that difference. $2.58 per gallon in most of the other places in the US, very cheap, and $4.50 in California. What does that tell you about Californian political policies? Let's just tax the ever-loving SHIT out of everything. It's just hitting people really bad. Anyway, that's my opinion. Make gas great again. Let's do Bitcoin and crypto. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and crypto and a couple of general altcoins that I'm watching. Of course, Toshi. There's one specific crypto I'm eyeing off very closely. If crypto is going to show it's going to continue back up again, I'm hawking this one really big time, and I'll show you what that is in just a second. But let's take a look at general crypto. Yes. Using the tradingview.com website, the Bitstamp exchange price. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, priced in USD, 116,244. It bounced exactly where we thought it might bounce, where we posited where we wanted to see it bounce here. That's what I'm trying to say. At that previous spike, right there at the 114,700, I think it was, and it's the 0.236 Fibonacci. Look at that again. Look at that. This is on the daily time frame. It's pretty damn close. I haven't got these drawn in exact, but look at that. From that low and that high, bounced off the 0.236. We are nowhere out of the woods yet for Bitcoin, okay, but at least we've had a little bit of a bounce there, okay. What we need to see for Bitcoin, it must clear back through that level right there. It's got to get through 120,000, okay. Until we do that, you cannot say Bitcoin is in a continued bull market. It's not going to make a brand new all-time high. I'll say that much. Look, technically, you are in. Let's see how. Technically, you're still in a bull market because you're making successive higher highs and higher lows on the weekly time frame. Although on this weekly here, we just made. Technically, it's a higher high, but it's a spike. So yeah, I mean, we're technically still in a bull market, but I'm not going to say new all-time highs coming for Bitcoin until we start closing back above technically $119,730 US. Let's just call it $120,000 even. Can we do that? Great. Between friends? Yes. Start closing through there and then we'll talk. But other than nope. And then if you start closing below 112, bad news bears. That would be closing below. So previous resistance, which became support, is no longer support. That's not good. Then we'll be talking lower prices, and I don't know where we could get down to. But yeah, that's all you need to know for Bitcoin at the moment. It's just ranging, and I need to see it break above 120. Until then, cannot say anything good at the moment on the shorter term. That is now Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, it's going to $1 million of Bitcoin later on down the track. But as you know, 4-year cycle-ish, price goes up, price goes down, has a big blow off top, and then has a bit of a long consolidation for like a year and a half, and then the bottom gets in, and then the cycle repeats pretty much like that. But we're in that sort of excess phase at the moment. So have we found our all-time high here at 124,000, 125,000? Quite possible. Until we break above 120,000, I have to say, potentially. If we start breaking back above 120, then we'll talk about another all-time high for Bitcoin. And as you know, many people still believe $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025, which is still doable. Okay, we're not making lower lows or anything like that. We just got to clear this 120, and then we'll talk Turkey. So that is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at general crypto. Here is others. Whoa, that's very very detailed. Let me get rid of all of you. And you. Cool. Here is others, the altcoin market minus the top 10. We're at $295 billion. Okay. There. Head and Shoulders is potentially playing out still, and I'll draw it back in again so you can see it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We bounced exactly where I thought we would bounce on the video I made yesterday, which is right here at 290 billion. Okay, that's the neckline. Okay, that neckline cannot get broken. So what we need to see for others is we need that to be a double bottom right there, if you want to call it there, and then it needs to crack at least back above 300 billion, and really you need to crack above there. That's the invalidation point for a Head and Shoulders, really, at the point of the right shoulder. So it's 310 billion, 311 billion. Until we get back over there, you gotta say, ooh, if we crack through that 290, that's a breaking of the neckline. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, break of the neckline, then we'll say heading down to bare minimum the $280 billion mark. That's this uptrend line right here. It's also the bottom end of the zag zone right here. It's also previous resistance. Okay, so that has to bounce there. So if this, then that must bounce there. If that rejects there, you do something like that. That is really, really, really effing bad. I'm not putting the fear of God into you, but yeah, can't do that. Okay, so 280 is your absolute massive line in the sand. Okay, again, because the bottom end of the zag zone from this low, from that low and that high, you don't want to get through. You don't want to close through the zag zone, closing through an uptrend line. Okay. Where is that uptrend? Why is the uptrend line there? Give me 1 second. Why is that uptrend line there? Oh yeah, because of there. Through that point, and that point, closing through the uptrend line. Ooh, that's bad news as well. And also previous resistance, right, is not becoming support. Ooh, okay, so I would be expecting a bounce here, and then that just has to remain above. Cool. So yeah, if this, then that. Expecting a bounce and needs to get back up into that kind of zone really quick, bloody smart, or else it ain't good for general crypto. I am in a little bit of crypto, and I'll show you what that is. I am still in my Toshi trade, and I will hold it for a little bit longer until I'm not. We'll just see what happens with this $290 billion area. Here is Toshi on the 4-hour time frame, price in USD, 00067, still holding. Okay, but I will take a loss if I need to. Okay, we are so far holding. So I did say to my wonderful Toshi Bam, when we're around about here, I said, watch out for a retest of this downtrend line. Now, most people seem to think that was quite reasonable to say. I had one commenter on X saying, wrong, higher from here. Yeah, well, look what's happened, people. Once you have a breakout, you tend to have a retest. Now, what we need to do, we got that retest, fine. We have to bounce here, okay? And if you don't, further down we go. So this is the daily time frame. We've just opened, have we just opened the new day? UTC, that's UTC4, my time zone. Why is my time zone in Caracas? I want my UTC, there we go. We've just opened the new day, cool. It needs to bounce here. That's pretty much all you need to know. So if I take it from this low and this high, where have we... and fantastic. Okay, so here's positive thing. Here's positive. Downtrend line tested, remaining as support so far. This also aligns exactly, and I'll get rid of that, aligns exactly with the 0.5 Fibonacci. Okay, so we're back in the zag zone. After a big move, you can come back into the zag zone. That's fine. So we're finding support there. It just really needs to hold. And this level right here, 000625, roughly, that needs to hold. If that doesn't hold, then we'll be talking about potentially breaking, and then that could be it for Toshi for Who knows, right? You've got to go where the data is. You can, and I love, again, I love my Toshi fanboys and girls, an amazing community. You still have to go where the data is telling you, okay? Don't just hold on to something because it's your favorite thing, okay? Got to go where the data is speaking, right? So we want to see Toshi break back up bare minimum through the 0007 mark right there. It's got to get through there, and preferably what I need to see is through that 0075, which we've been talking about before. That's actually, you know what, that's at that 0.236, so let's talk about there. Okay, get up through there. Great, fantastic. That just means, we'll just continue to make higher highs, higher lows, and onwards and upwards, and we might even talk about, potential all-time high breaking kind of territory. We're not there yet, okay? Just got to hold that bare minimum here where we are right now. Hold that. That's got to bounce. Cool. That is Toshi. Here is a crypto that I'm watching at the moment, and I'm hawking it very, very closely. Let me show you. Let's take a look at Polygon Network, okay? I am watching this very, very closely for a signal. And I've got to watch general crypto. If general crypto is showing it's about to turn back around and head upwards, I am going to be deep into Polygon Network. Why? Because it's holding up really, really well versus other general crypto, which has been having a bit of a dip. I mean, look at this on the daily time frame. The last few days, you've been holding really well. On the last week, look at the weekly. Okay, the chart looks amazing. Okay, if it can break through. So, this is Polygon Network. Okay, so it's one of those L1, L2. It's an L2, I think the technical term. But you've seen DOT do well recently. You've seen these other ones do well, and Pol hasn't had its breakout time. So I think it's time for Pol to have its breakout. Okay, if it can prove just with general crypto that's going to continue upwards, but it's looking really nice. So we've been in a massive accumulation range at the moment. This is the fiat dollar price. It's at 26 cents at the moment. If it can break through here, and again, this is, you've got to follow what general crypto is doing. I need to see general crypto get back through that 300 billion, preferably 310 billion kind of mark. But this could be a canary in the coal mine, right? So this is looking all right. You would say around about here-ish is its resistance kind of level. Okay, it's sort of resistance zone. It needs to get back through here, bare minimum, at around about where we are now. That's looking really nice. So on the weekly, if you can close above 27.5 cents, 28 cents, okay? It's looking really good. It's starting to make higher highs on the weekly time frame. So got to get through that zone there, but I'm hawking it really closely, okay? That's forming a beautiful accumulation zone, and then we could be into a new public participation phase, again, if crypto is going to, continue onwards and upwards. But this is one that hasn't had its big breakout move just yet, like others have already had, okay? And if I show you on the Bitcoin pairing as well, that's looking really tasty at the moment, okay? The Bitcoin pairing is almost breaking out. Technically, it has made a higher high on the daily time frame, but I really want to see this week close out higher, okay? Got to watch out for fake outs, okay? But looking quite good there as well. On the relative strength index, we haven't broken out through into extremely overvalued or overbought just yet, but it's moving onwards and upwards. I'd be watching it. I'm hawking this one in particular. And higher prices, if we got, this is interesting, I must have been talking about it back here. If you can find an entry around about here on the breakout, or a breakout and a retest, you could make a nice little sum, 30-40% kind of move, although the main trapped money, which is what I would have talked about previous, is around about here, and that's in the zag zone, okay? So watch out for that. That's about a 60% move from a breakout point, and it's actually technically, I'm not saying buy here, it's actually about a 75% move from here. I wouldn't be buying here because I don't know what general crypto is doing just yet, not confident on it just yet, but mate, I tell you now, general crypto shows it's going to continue upwards into some kind of alt season. You have Pol on your watch list, okay? Watch for a breakout of that 28 cent kind of area, and particularly you've got to watch what it's doing on the Bitcoin pairing, because if the altcoin you're in is not beating Bitcoin, just be in Bitcoin. It's got to be beating Bitcoin in order for you to get into it, and so far it's looking really nice. This is a potential on the weekly time frame. We have a potential failure swing pattern happening right here. A failure swing pattern, again, is where you come down, okay, there, make a higher low, okay, that's a higher low on the weekly, and then you break that pattern right there. That's kind of like a W, but with a higher low. That's a failure swing. It's a good reversal pattern that you want to see, okay, and that's on the Bitcoin pairing. You could be looking really well for Pol. Keep an eye out on it. Cool. Don't get into it just yet. I'd be waiting for a confirmation of a close of at least a day, preferably a week, above, at least on the Bitcoin pairing, above X amount of zeros, 225. Okay, get above there, please, and thank you. So that's Pol. I am watching it, hawking it very, very closely. And I will be in if General Crypto is going to present itself to be looking bullish. Let's see. Steve Bassett. Yeah, they are fun. We'll get back to that in just a second. We'll come back to that one. But of course, stormrake.com. Speaking of crypto, now, if you're a crypto native, you want a stormrake.com account. Why? They're a full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. You have access to very deep liquidity. What happens when the time comes that you're a brand new, or for the second or third time, crypto millionaire, or you have a lot of crypto which you feel like is at a top point, okay, wherever that point is for you, and you need to start scaling out, because you can't just hit sell button all in one go. Of course not, okay, particularly if you're just selling on exchanges, because you're going to tank the price. You're going to tank your own price. If you've got $1 million of crypto to sell, you can't just hit the market sell order, okay, so where's the liquidity coming from? I'd highly recommend signing up for stormrake.com. You can go to stormrake.com, but I really suggest you sign up with my link, okay? I'll pop the link somewhere. You can type this little thing here in the address bar of your favorite browser, because you'll get cheaper brokerage fees. Okay, now their normal brokerage fees are 3%. It's actually really, really good for access to deep liquidity, okay? And of course, they can just do it all for you as well, okay? So as a crypto native, you really want access to that. And also, there's no hidden fees as well. As you know, other services like Coinbase or this or that and the other, they tell you what their fees are, but they also bury hidden fees in the buy and sell spreads. So for example, if spot price of Bitcoin was $200,000, they might say that their sell price, selling back to you for cash, is $199,000, right? So there's a $1,000 below, $1,000 underneath the spot price of Bitcoin, okay? This is very similar to what we talk about in the precious metals era. When you go back to sell precious metals to a bullion dealer, most of them don't pay the full spot price, okay? You'll get spot minus a certain percentage. That's just the same with most crypto exchanges and most crypto simple services like Coinbase, etc. They've got a below spot price to sell to you and an above spot price for you to buy from them. Not with stormrake.com. There's no hidden spread fee whatsoever. You're buying at the spot price or selling at the spot price, okay? All their fees are in the normal crypto brokerage fee. It's 3% if you sign up with stormrake.com, or if you could use my link, 2% for the life of the account. That's a 33% discount. Now, that's as a crypto native. Why would you want to use stormrake.com as a crypto beginner? Because they're a full service cryptocurrency brokerage. They do it all for you. Tell your friends and family about Stormrake, stormrake.com. And when you're ready to buy crypto, which could be now for you, you really want to go to stormrake.com, okay? Sign up with my account. Trust me, bro. Trust me, I'm a random guy on the internet, but they really are fantastic. As you know, I've talked about Bisha. I've talked with Bisha on the channel. We did an interview where he made his case for $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025. So as a crypto native, you want stormrake.com. As a crypto novice, tell your friends and family about it, okay? For 2% fee, they do it all for them. You can give them a call or an email and say, I want $20,000 of Bitcoin. I want to set up my self-managed super fund to buy cryptocurrency or to buy a portion of cryptocurrency. As you know, I believe everyone should own 10% of their wealth in gold and bare minimum 10% of their wealth in Bitcoin these days. And then you can try and go for other altcoins, etc. If you don't own gold and Bitcoin as part of your investment strategy, there's something, I don't know, there's something going on there. You need to rethink your strategy. Stormrake.com. Let's go to some more comments. Steve Bassett, yes. Good morning all. Been listening in the background, still here, just haven't had time to jump on and comment. Hope you're all doing well. I've had better weeks, but you know. Let's see. I'm here with you guys, and that is the main thing. ZBCN, yes, I won't do it today. Let's see. Buy the altcoin dip dive, says Gerald Draper. You could be correct. Cryptalk token for influencers. Ooh, okay, maybe. Funny because California and New York subsidize the other states, but the federal government subsidizes California and the other states. So what's your point? Jason? Bullion Now unboxings are fun. They are fun. I created them. I created the first unboxing. The first Bullion Now unboxing, as you know, I was their very first employee at Bullion Now, and I launched and grew their YouTube channel. That's all me, baby. That was all me. Let's see. You know what you hold, blah, 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 yeah, you're going crypto shilling. That's okay. Will I do a quickly what I learned this week? Yes, I will. Let's do a quick what I learned this week from Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. As you know, I have started, I'm in week 4 or week 5, I think it is now, of the Mastering the Markets 12-month year-long comprehensive course in how to be I'm learning to be a full-time trader. Okay, I've been dabbling in this stuff for a very long time. I decided, you know what, I need to go to the pros and just up my skills. So I dived headfirst. Would you help me support the show? Help support the show and put me through school? Because I tell you what, it's expensive. Could you please hit me up with a super chat or something like that? Would be lovely. What would really be helpful is if you sign up for Stormrake, stormrake.com, start buying your crypto through there, and that gives me just a little bit of a back end as well. That's always good too. But this is the Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com year-long comprehensive course. Okay, you can also join their 10-week foundational course, but every week at the moment, I'm just sort of distilling what I learned that week. So let me tell you what I learned that week. Let me go up to here. I'll just get a bit of a, let's see, I'll do it on here. Okay, so I've been learning this week about RSI, okay, Relative Strength Index. It's this little chestnut right here. You know, I've been using it for a long time. We have been talking about it before, but I'll just quickly distill it. Relative Strength Index is a momentum indicator, okay? It is also a lagging indicator, okay? So generally you don't use lagging indicators, but you can use it for divergence. So you can use relative strength index as a leading indicator if you use it correctly. So for example, as you know, with the relative strength index, it goes through periods of overbought and oversold. Now, in general, it doesn't work exactly like this, but you can see when the price of something gets into extremely overvalued or extremely overbought on the relative strength index, it tends to, not always, but it tends to coincide with a top on that particular time frame. So you can do it on every single time frame. I'm just looking at the weekly right here to give you an example. Right here on the weekly time frame in February technically right here in January of 2021, we went into extremely overvalued on the weekly time frame on Bitcoin. Okay, right here. Now the price was at $42,000. Now this is why I say it's not exact, okay, but it can then kind of signal a topping kind of area because you're in extremely overvalued, okay, on the relative strength index. Then what did we see? We saw a move up to, excuse me, We saw it now. Look, that's a $20,000 extra move. Okay, roughly. We saw a move up to about $64,000 area. Okay, but what you can see here is it's now showing you that the price is just starting to lose momentum. Technically, we got an all-time high of 69,000, dude. But from here, you can see the momentum was waning. You could see from about January, February-ish, that the Bitcoin price was starting to wane. Okay, we had that move there, and this is what RSI is great for in particular, not as a lagging indicator, but as a leading indicator, showing you divergence between the price and its action. Okay, so here's a very clear bearish, as in not good, bearish divergence. You have a higher high, okay, but what is the relative strength index doing? Since back here, it's making a lower high. So that's really signaling, okay, we're getting really toppy here. The momentum is really lagging, okay? So that's the way to use relative strength index to find areas of strong, medium, or even weak bearish or bullish divergence, to say, okay, maybe this is an area roughly here, although you won't get it exact with the fiat dollar price. Maybe around here is a topping area, or maybe around here is a bottoming area. So for example, if we show you here, I'll show you on the weekly time frame. This is back here. Where are we? We're talking this kind of area right there. So that's when we had that bottom of around about $18,000. Now on the relative strength index, it went into extremely oversold. Okay, so we went from extremely overbought into the extremely oversold area. And again, it's not exact, okay, because when it went into extremely oversold, right there, that was at 18,000. Now we did have a bit more of a dip, but interestingly, what it did the exact opposite. So what you had was a lower high, and then you had a lower low, okay, but then you had a higher low on the relative strength index, which is very strong bullish divergence. Okay, so that was signaling around this area here. Again, you never get it exact, but around this area here is the bottoming out. You could have done very well, and you wouldn't have gotten it perfect, but you could have bought around about here, Bitcoin about here, when it got into extremely oversold, and you just rode it for a while. This is the weekly time frame, so we're talking June of 2022 to about November of 2022. That's a few months, mate, but you would have been just fine. Oh no, you didn't pick the exact bottom. You didn't get to buy at $16,000. Oh damn, you only bought at $18,000. Oh no, because you bought it here on the relative strength index when it was oversold. Now I'm not saying you should just wait for that. It's perfect to wait for some kind of bullish divergence, but even if you bought that there, oh no, look where the price went. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, for particular assets, just buying and selling in periods of extremely overvalued and extremely undervalued, or overbought and oversold, can be a strategy. You preferably want to pair it though with some kind of divergence. Okay, so wait for a higher high and then a lower high, or wait for a lower low and a higher low to really confirm, oh, the bottom is absolutely in. That's how you use relative strength index to help inform your trading strategy. That is what I learned this week, and it applies on all kind of time frames. Okay, and I'm not going to tie it into how it works with other things, price action and volume and this, that, and the other. That's just one little tool for the toolbox, and that's what I learned this week. It's more of a refresher for me for the RSI. I'll go back to here. The week before, which I won't share, the week before we learned about on balance volume, which I'm actually still getting my head around. That's been the big kicker for me. So in the first, and again, head up to Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and consider starting one of their courses. I don't know when the next course starts, but what you can do in the meantime is you can head over to academy.masteringthemarkets.com and join their free section. Okay, so you'll get to learn a lot of stuff just by being a part of their free section right here, academy.masteringthemarkets.com, and then you might want to consider signing up for their monthly paid subscription as well. Highly worth it. And then even consider doing a course. But as I was saying before, last week I didn't do a live show. I'm still learning on balance volume, and to be honest, That's the one that's doing my head in the most. I've really got to study that. Still, see, RSI I've known about for a long time, like we just talked about. I get that. It's a pretty simple kind of thing, but the unbalanced volume indicator, ooh, it's throwing me for a 6. I've really got to nail that down before I can sort of even kind of synthesize that for anyone else. So that's why I'm not doing that. Let's see. That was what I learned this week from Mastering the Markets. Final comments and we'll get out of here because I've got things to do, and so do you. Let's see. Comments. We got to there. Tony, first thing I do when I see an unboxing notification, when I see an unboxing notification of any, is you go direct to the website because you know it'll get sold out pretty quickly. Yeah, that used to happen all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Funny guy. Joe is hilarious. Put your address up. I'll send you a little ZBC and... Oh, thanks. I'd love that. Point is, Cal sends 326 billion to federal and receive net contribution 61 billion subsidizing other states. Then stop subsidizing other states. And then maybe the gas price won't be $4.50 per gallon. Why is it subsidizing other states? I told my dad I would mail him, you and Jason, some brownies since they travel so well. What the hell, you guys? California spent roughly $22 billion on in 2022. Yeah. Cali cost billions in bank bailouts and woke bull craziness and bad reputation for the country. I do agree. Best of luck, Joe. Thank you very much, Posh. Neil, I'm planning on flying to Mexico, then going to the US. Want to give me some freebies? You did not say that. You did not say that. You are joking, of course, Silveruga. We all know that you are joking. Speaking of joking, I don't know what that was going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main, for Tuesday, the 19th of August, 2025. We've talked precious metals, we've talked crypto. I've given you my crypto pick for the week if I'm hawking it very, very closely. Zach says, hey, Joe. G'day, Zach. It's good to see you, my friend. We are about to finish the show, though, however. Could I ask you... I have family in Melbourne. Do you now? Fantastic. That's great. I am coming to you live from Melbourne in Australia. Great to hear, Zach. Unfortunately, though, we are at the end of the show, my friend. Could you do me a big favor? Hit the big red subscribe button on YouTube for me and follow me on X as well. And, yes, we will also dance it out with our beverages, which we synchronize, slurp together. Grab your drinks. Yes, you have watched Good Morning Stackers. And we dance it out as well because, and don't forget, I go live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, and please watch all my stuff in between as well. That would be fantastic. Anytime you get a notification, you must hit the notification bell on YouTube. Anytime you see a video, can you at least give it a like? Even if you don't watch all of it, give it a like, etc. It helps me with the algorithm, and preferably give a like and a comment. Maybe watch it because you've got to stay updated with the precious metals, the cryptos, and everything else we do here at Good Morning Stackers. Let's dance it out. You've watched.
Good morning, Stackers. Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, Stackers. It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do that.
Synchronize, slurp.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're on the move.
Thanks for watching. Love your work. Love your support. Love you all. Stay safe. Stay informed. Keep stacking whatever you're stacking. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
Podcast.